Hey everyone, how's it going? It's Russell here, and this is just a super quick video to let you know that tomorrow, Monday, October 25th, is the application date for the last ever period of the CRB. And we know that this is the last period because just this week, Justin Trudeau and Chrystia Freeland announced that they would be ending this program and instead introducing the Canada Worker Lockdown Benefit. And for this final CRB application, only certain Canadians are eligible for it. So in today's video, I'm going to give you a rundown on who is eligible for this final 28th application. And we're going to go over a quick summary of what we know so far about the CWLB, as well as the extensions to the CRCB and the CRSB. So here on the CRA's website, you can see that the application is opening up tomorrow, and they even emphasize here that, hey, this is the last CRB period. They've put this on the website now since this announcement because it has been confirmed that at least the Liberals aren't planning on extending the CRB until the end of November like they have the power to do. They've made the decision, said, hey, we've got our million jobs back. We're back to 100% capacity. This is what Chrystia Freeland announced, saying, hey, we don't need to extend the CRB any longer because we have these jobs rates going up. And an important thing to note is that this is period number 28 for the CRB, but for the Canada Recovery Benefit Program, you're only eligible for 27 periods of applications. So even though there is a period 28, if you've exhausted all of your periods, you've applied for every single one since the beginning, well, then last application period was your final application. But if you're somebody who maybe was able to find work for a short amount of time during the pandemic, since this program started back in October of last year, and you have these extra weeks of eligibility, well, you're going to be able to apply for the CRB one final time, and that is this time period number 28. Now, the NDP have made it clear that they are not in support of the lack of an extension for the CRB program, the fact that it's being cut off at this point, but they're not really going to have an opportunity to really pressure Justin Trudeau on this matter because Trudeau set the day that everyone's going back into the House of Commons to start debating various legislation all the way until November 22nd. So even though the NDP want to put some pressure on this, it's not likely that the government's going to receive any, at least in the House of Commons, to make an extension until the end of November, more likely, especially certainly after this announcement. It's very unlikely that they're going to go back on their words. But they did announce extensions for two other programs, sort of the sister programs to the CRB. It's the Canada Recovery Caregiving Benefit and the Canada Recovery Sickness Benefit. If you didn't know, the CRCB, that's the caregiving benefit, well, that's been going on since the beginning of the CRB, and it's for people who specifically have to take care of a family member and aren't able to work as a result of that, tied into the pandemic. And this was actually extended all the way until May, but they only gave 2 extra periods that you can apply for, 2 extra weeks of the CRCB. But if you're somebody who has never applied for the CRB or CRCB, then you could potentially apply for the CRCB if you are eligible for it all the way until the end of May. You can see this clearly with the note they've put on the CRCB website. The CRCB extends to November 20th, 2021. So that's the extension that they can do via regulation. They can make the switch very easily and automatically extend it without having to get support from other political parties. But they have proposed to extend it all the way until May 7th, 2022. But in order to do an extension as significant as that, they're going to need to write new legislation, and that's not going to start being debated until November 22nd. So it'll be very interesting to see what happens when they actually start talking about this in the House of Commons. If you're somebody who's exhausted your CRB and won't be able to apply for it anymore, and that's most people, certainly after this week, now that the program is finishing, you could be eligible for the CRCB, like I said, but you need to make sure that you are eligible. So navigate to the CRCB website. You can just Google search CRCB. It's likely the first result, and they have a whole list here of the eligibility criteria and what qualifications you actually have to have in order to be eligible for the CRCB. And like I said here, I believe that this program has 42 weeks, or roughly around that. Maybe it's extended to 44 now, but around that amount of weeks and periods that you can apply for if you are eligible. So give this a read. If it's something that you are eligible for and entitled to, then you could certainly switch over to this. And the Liberals' replacement for the CRB program in general is something called the Canada Workers Lockdown Benefit. I made a video about it just yesterday, or in the past couple of days at least, going over all of the details. I'll link it right there or in the description so you can take a look at that to find out if that's something you might be eligible for. Right now, we don't have a ton of details about it, and it looks like we're going to have to wait again until like late November to actually see legislation tabled to make this benefit a reality. But it seems like it's going to be a benefit that's only eligible for workers who are in provinces which decide to issue another full lockdown. What qualifies it as a full lockdown and what qualifies you as someone who's eligible for the program, that's yet to be revealed. But again, all the details that we know so far were linked in that video. You can find it on my channel. And that just about covers all of the major updates for the CRB this week, this final application period of the CRB. Let me know what you think of it down in the comments. And while you're down there, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and use any of the links down there in the description. It helps support the channel and make sure that content like this can be continued to be created for Canadians specifically. But with that said, thanks so much for watching, everybody. I really hope this video helped you out at least a little bit, and I'll see you next time.